Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships presented by Discmania. We're at Valmont Park in Boulder, Colorado, and a different group here. Our lead card featuring Darian, Angelina, along with Jenny, who we saw from the first round, and rounding it out, Sandra. Excited to be here. We're moving to a different course, which we haven't done in the last few years, but Erikah Weir is going to join me again. And Erikah, plenty of birdies to be found out here on this course.
Absolutely. This is definitely, of the two courses, this is kind of the birdie or die. I did play this tournament, so I can vouch for the fact that wind was down, so scoring conditions were primed and ready to go. Looks like Jenny took a forehand off the tee for that. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, and there's a couple blind holes out here, and hole one was one where I was like, hey, I want to go down by the pin because we may see an ace run or something come in, and looks like that's working out just fine. You actually can't see it from the tee, though, can you?
If you step out all the way to the left-hand side of the tee box, you can just see the number plate. But other than that, it is really blind on this hole. This is my home course. I've lived in Boulder for the last year. I've played this course quite a bit, so I will vouch for the fact that it's very forehand friendly in my personal opinion. And it looks like all four of our top card chose the forehand to start their day off.
Well, and you're a forehand specialist yourself, so when you're saying that, you definitely know that this course favors that style of throw.
It does, but I also think that you can throw a lot of backhand as well. So whatever you're the most proficient in, you'll be in luck. This one specifically, the way it bends, you could throw an anhyzer, but the forehand, just the way it's going to finish back to the pin, that definitely seems to be the easiest way to approach it.
And right off the bat, a little elevation and just very stark contrast to the overall land and landscape, I should say, of the previous course, where we had very lush grass that really grabbed everything. And right
Definitely.
off the bat, we see, kind of a hard pan, hillside, all of those other things to contend with.
Definitely. And this is more of a oh, did that land on top of the basket?
It did, yes.
I'm glad you caught that. This course for sure. So Valmont basically has two sections. So we call it the hill and we call it the green and then the plain. So I guess it's three. So the hill is holes 1 through 7, which we'll see on this coverage. And then when we head out to the back 9, it's a little bit more open, more native plants. And then when you finish on holes 17 and 18, that's the green section where there is grass. The park keeps that nice and clear for ultimate frisbee and for soccer players. But really, that's the only place that you're going to see the lovely manicured grass that we're used to at Purple Park. So players are definitely adjusting, like you said, to that hard pan. There's going to be more rocks, a little bit of elevation, and more native grasses for sure.
And we see one birdie collected there by Jenny. She's going to take the honors and have the outright lead here early. We see just how close the scores are coming into it after the first round over at Purple Park. Now this one plays uphill. A couple different routes here.
Definitely. So you see that gap that looks relatively straightforward. So off the tee, it's going to be a little bit harder to hit. You can do what Sandra's trying to do there. I think try to hit that right gap, or if you have a big, let's call it like an eagle or a Simon Heiser, right, out and over those trees. That's also a risk and reward shot because even if you get around, you do have to land really softly. They're contending with that hard pan, and you see Darian basically lace that shot. Oh, I jinxed her. Sorry, Darian. There's those guardian trees that are there. This plays a lot different in the summer as well as, winter and spring. In the winter, we lose all our leaves, so it makes it a little bit easier to attack. Angelina was going for that higher panning anhyzer shot, and that's what happens to a lot of folks. You gotta get caught in that little bit of the jungle off to the left-hand side.
Well, and right off the bat, as we just noticed on 1, as it slopes down, here we are on 2, and then obviously a significant slope up to the pin, and just the amount of elevation that you guys are experiencing just in the first couple of holes.
Definitely. That will continue in this section, as we kind of work our way through. Course designers did what they could with, I believe this is a former landfill site or a dump site. So they definitely worked with the landscape that they were given to try to make it more difficult for a lot of the shots, which are under, 250 to 300. I wonder what the distance is on this one. It's tough to say because it feels like it plays a lot further, and it can be challenging with those trees. But this is a great course for people that are practicing, as far as being a beginner. This is a great course to bring people to in Boulder. Even seasoned veterans, like when Eagle comes back for the off season, he plays here because it really helps you tune in those up shots. Or if you're particularly working on something, you can kind of force yourself to throw that as well.
Saw another birdie by Jenny to get things going, and we can take a look at some of the hole averages and scores throughout this entire round. We see all the different divisions that were out there. If I pull up some of the statistics, see that one played at correction. Let me double check. 2.83 is how that one actually played.
Yeah, and in the FPO division of this specific tournament, I believe we had 12 players. So we did have an A pool and a B pool, like you had said at the top of the coverage. We did decide to split it so that everybody could at least get 2 rounds at Purple Park due to some COVID restrictions, as well as just overall flow for the tournament. It made sense to have a secondary course if we were able to do so. So this is the first time Valmont is being showcased in the Rocky Mountain Women's Championship.
See Darian going right up and over. This one's 177 feet. The previous one was 169, and the very first hole is 178. So all very similar as that shot comes in and almost catches some basket.
Yeah, this shot is, we talked on hole 1 about being blind. If you have a hyzer, you can definitely use it off the tee. You may get caught up like we saw Jenny there. Even a great shot like Darian's with the hard pan, you do have to really control it as far as the landing is concerned. There is some mulch, but it's more or less dirt and rocks, so you are going to face a skip if that disc comes in too quickly.
Darian's effort from a knee is just off the chains.
She's just been like an inch or 2 high or low, so hopefully those putts will start sinking for her later in the round. Great putt by Angelina. Angelina is one of those folks that is on our Colorado circuit throughout the year. She may not be out on tour all that often, but she packs a punch for her stature. She's kind of like our little Paige Pierce.
Yeah. And if you notice, one thing I picked up, this is the first time I've seen her play, she really has some mannerisms of Paige Bjerkes too, in the way that she kind of lines up some shots and really preps herself, and then her putting routine with a straight on putt. I noticed a little Paige Bjerkes in her influence.
Yeah, I would say you're accurate on that one. I would akin her more to Paige Shue than I would Paige Pierce, but I meant from like a powerful stance out of maybe somebody of smaller stature. But Angelina has such a great putt. She barely hesitates. She kind of steps up. She knows what she's up to. And I want to say she putts with judges. So it is definitely another shout out to Paige Shue.
Exactly. Oh, and the uphill, this one is 160 feet, but probably plays closer to 200 with the elevation.
I would say so. Again, this is another tricky one. Forehand or backhand approach. Both work. You just need to be very careful, as we kind of see Jenny. She had a great shot, great control, the right distance, but the hard pan and the rocks that are right around the pin do not make it very forgiving for a landing.
Very different approach by Darian, going straight up the middle as opposed to playing that high, wider hyzer.
Yeah, this one you could take that as an option for her, and I believe that's her disc off to the left. So she got through and landed well. We've got another birdie putt there from Angelina. Actually aced this hole back in our women's league a few weeks ago. So nice. I would recommend forehand with a star Cayman. Shout out to Innova there. That's the one that did the trick for me.
No bias whatsoever there, right?
No, none at all. None at all.
That works. And what a putt by Jenny.
Wow.
And that feels good to see her get the birdie, considering her shot was so good, and then she just got the roll away. So to watch her walk away with the birdie seems fitting and very appropriate with that.
Definitely.
Shot.
And seeing Jenny here, we're only through hole 4. I want to say she is 3 for 4 right now as far as birdies are going. So she's starting the round off nice and confident.
Certainly is. And Darian picks up her first birdie, and a little bit of pressure now left on Sandra. This is to actually complete the star frame.
Definitely, but no hesitation. She just steps up and nails it. So well done to the lead card.
we move on. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters as we're giving you some of this action. 131 feet for hole 5. This is just kind of stand and deliver, isn't it?
It definitely is. I think most people are going to probably utilize a putter on this shot. From what it is being just over 130 feet, you would be shocked at how challenging this hole can feel. You see Angelina with a nice touch approach there, but it does tend to skip off. It's finishing downhill and off to the left-hand side. Let's see Jenny here. I know they mulched it. We actually had such a great group of people come out from the Boulder Disc Golf Club to support our endeavor of using Valmont. They were so excited. People are out here weed whacking. They were out here mulching. I want to say in the back nine there might be a special surprise. No spoilers, but a couple members of the team did get together. They were helping out with, telling folks the course was closed for the day due to a tournament, whether they were caddying or just sort of helping make sure that everything was going along smoothly. Definitely really appreciate that support.
You saw Darian come up short, so she's got a little work to do. And when you're stepping up to a 130-foot hole, you're thinking, oh man, this is such a birdieable hole. I've got to get this. It's almost like this weird reverse pressure of, wow, I need the 2 here. Otherwise, I'm going to lose ground on my card.
Absolutely. And you can see Sandra right there. She was lined up. She had an open shot at it, and it just came out of her hand, not how she wanted. I would say holes 1 through 7 are really birdieable. They're pretty similar in length, different shots for sure. But putters or a mid, or even, if you kind of slow down your throw with a driver, everything can be reachable. It's just a matter of where you land. Are you going to face an obstacle? Are you going to be behind a bush, a tree? Like Jenny, we saw last hole, is it going to kick and roll? It definitely presents its own challenges, but you're absolutely right about that reverse pressure. You think 130 feet, of course I'm going to get a birdie on this one, but we see people walking away with less than that or more than that. So,
yeah, Darian was in for the par. Jenny just tapped in for her par, and now we've got Angelina trying to save hers as well.
Yeah, and now where she's putting from, these rock circles are not out of bounds. They're basically just features on the course, so no worries there. With a great birdie, and Sandra's cleaning up as well.
CTP Disc offers Pro Day every month. Come on down for hands-on tips and instructions for all skill levels. Each month, a different pro will be on hand teaching new techniques to up your game. CTP also has a Lost and Found program. Bring in a lost disc and receive $3 in-store credit. Find your disc at ctpdisc.com. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. CTP Disc. Each disc, a better game.
And just like that, we move from the 131-footer. We move over to hole 6. I've been told this is in the slightly shorter position at 164.
Yeah, so this one definitely still presents its own challenges. You'll see Angelina going for that Anheuser. I know she wanted a little bit more turn, a little bit more fade. I think you're going to pan. There you go. You can see the pin is a little bit hidden by those guardian trees. Now, Sandra is a good friend of mine, and I am absolutely loving that I'm seeing her step up to the tee and go with a forehand shot on this hole. That is not her go-to.
Well, she looks confident and
Love it.
Short. It certainly looked like it was the right angle, just didn't have quite enough power on it. But keeps her out of trouble. Here's Jenny.
Yeah, she has definitely been working very hard on her disc golf game, and adding that forehand to her arsenal is awesome. Now, Jenny is going to go a little bit deep, trying to take advantage. Nope, actually, she's going to be in pretty good position. She'll have a putt.
Yeah, pulled a little to the right side, but like you said, open enough to still give her a look at birdie. Darian
Definitely.
going with the forehand.
There we go.
Oh, and the roll. All right, that'll give her a look.
Shot. Definitely. And as we've seen before, Darian has found herself in some precarious positions. So she's had some experience with less than stellar footing on her putts. So maybe she'll sink that one for us. You can kind of see behind Angelina, that is the flat irons, which Terry framed up perfectly in this shot. So those are some mountains that people are hiking back there. It's does a beautiful job when we get out to the back part of the course. You've got them framed up really nice. So Valmont is a lovely place to play.
Sandra hits the pole. If you were to try and get out there and do some hiking, how is that a 20-minute car ride, an hour?
Yeah, it does look a little deceiving, right? Because it's kind of right there. It is just on the edge of town. So if you were going to head over there, you're heading towards Chautauqua Park, parking there, and then heading up to the trailheads from there. I know that giving another Colorado disc golfer shout out, I know Tristan Tanner has done some of his YouTube content from up there. I know Eagle's done that on one of his Vlogmas type of episodes. So it's a place, it does definitely attracts tourists, which is lovely, but a lot of locals can hike there as well. So I myself have never tackled them, but I hear they're a beautiful hike with a lot of really great vistas.
We see Darian not able to capitalize on the birdie look, and you saw it actually carried quite a ways past. She's gonna have a little work to do coming back. And I believe this is Angelina to save the par.
That's a great shot. And like you said earlier, I can definitely see that Paige Shoe putting style from her.
Yeah, just the way she kind of lifts that back leg, it just holds a very similar pose. Here's Darian for her par.
Oh, man. That's a great effort.
Yeah.
It's really challenging because, like we said, this is sort of like you want to score on this course, right? We know we're heading back to Purple Park tomorrow. There's no cut. These players are on the lead card for the second round, and this is definitely moving day and where you can, make up some strokes from the day before when we were playing in the wind. So I am sure that she really wanted to, capitalize on that birdie, and then to see her go for it and then have to come back for a bogey putt is a little bit heartbreaking.
We are through a third of the course, and now that you guys have seen a little bit of this course along with, of course, Purple Park, I need you to leave it in the comments. What is your favorite course in Colorado? So if you've played, let us know what your favorite is, and if you haven't, let us know what course is on your bucket list. That's what I need to know in the comments, and from one of those comments, I'll do a drawing and give away a free disc and send you some goodies as we're seeing
there we go.
2 shots on 7.
Terry, am I allowed to leave a comment?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, I'll get in there and do that.
I'll run that through the random generator.
I got a couple favorites here for sure.
And just over 170 feet for hole 7.
That was a great shot.
Slightly downhill. Yep.
So again, this is hidden. You can see it off the tee pad if you're kind of squinting, but basically where those shadows start at the end of that tunnel, that's where you would like to land. Darian slides a great shot in there. Well done.
Yeah, it kind of blends right in. You can see the basket there, but it blends really well.
And there is a longer position for this tee. We decided to keep it shorter. That way, maybe folks that wanted to attack it from a more technical perspective had the opportunity for a birdie. Definitely still makes it challenging because you need to pick the right shot, judge that hard pan ground for landing. Great birdie there by Sandra. So we felt that it would be effective for, all of our pro divisions as well as the other folks that played out here that day.
Yeah, our incredible host, and Jeff Hungerford was saying that he really loves the long pin here, but with everything you just said, making it a little bit on the more attackable, more technical side, shorter, makes perfect sense. But he certainly was excited about the long pin. That seems to be his favorite location for it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's fun either way, honestly. There's still a tunnel shot if it's in the longer position, but it is a nice high hyzer, and you get rewarded well for a precise shot. So I can see why Mr. Hungerford may want that one instead.
Easy tap-in birdie. Nothing like a birdie following up your bogey. That's exactly what you want to do if you find yourself with the bogey. And they're going to move on. And as you're seeing all these transitions, I want to real quickly say just thank you to all the supporters, the event supporters, and just all my overall vlog supporters and Patreon supporters. That's how we're able to give you so much content out here as we're seeing Sandra. Now, totally different section of the course here for the next few holes, isn't it?
Yep, we're heading to the plains. So these next 2 holes are the longest 2 holes on the course. This is a city course, so it is park boundaries that we're playing. There is a sidewalk that could come into play since these women are basically, I don't want to, say it out loud, but this is probably the first big drive of their day. So, they've been doing a lot more controlled, more of approach shots. This one, they can really open up and see if there is any wind as they're heading into the back portion of the course.
Yeah, and hole 8 comes in at 364 feet, and hole 9's 428. So back to back, the two longest holes, as you were saying. And looks like everyone's navigated just fine on their opening shot.
Yeah. And you can see as the cars are kind of going by, that's the sidewalk I was telling you that's out of bounds. So you really would have to have it turn over to go poorly for you. But nonetheless, with these two holes being the longest, I think unless you've got a really big arm, most of the women are just going to be trying to walk away with back-to-back pars. So it's a little bit of a break from that birdie or die, but it certainly changes the mentality of the way you're going to attack.
Nice, easy approach shot. Here's Angelina. A little bit low.
Yeah, a little shorter than she'd like, but we've seen her with some pretty big putts, so hopefully she'll be able to clean that up when she gets up there. And I know Darian, she was working really hard to get to the NADGT final, so we did see her out on the circuit more than we ever have. She's out west in Grand Junction, which is about 4.5 hours away from Boulder, so it was great to have her in town for this event. And she has worked incredibly hard on her game this year, and every time I saw her play, she just was getting better and better.
Yeah, certainly plenty of power is what I noticed throughout this round with her. And really, any of the mishaps or mistakes on the front half all seemed like they were just a few inches off on her putt.
Definitely. And we've all had those days, right?
Yeah,
you can be as prepared as you can coming into stuff like that. And, maybe not used to being on camera, an unfamiliar course. There's just different things that crop up for sure. But
yeah, I felt that way when I showed up. I think it was Darian, maybe even specifically. It was like, oh, I don't even think I realized it. I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm going to film. And I wholeheartedly understand, someone just showing up and then all of a sudden your round is going to be filmed. Regardless of the channel size, just a camera always adds a little extra pressure.
It certainly does. I mean, I think I've had the privilege to be on film with you a couple different times. And, even though I'm very comfortable, it's just, oh boy, there's the camera, there's Terry. Like, this means it could be out there for everybody to see. So I completely empathize with what she may be going through there.
Angelina will tap in for the bogey, and we'll move on to 9. We head over to 9, and hole 9, 428 feet. Certainly wide open, but plenty of length.
Definitely. And it gives another chance for the ladies to open up and really toss those drives. You can take a big hyzer approach. You can do what Sandra did and kind of throw off to the left hand, maybe with a little bit more anhyzer. I've seen people split the middle of the trees. So it's certainly up to you. What you don't want to do is get trapped within those trees, because then you're going to make your upshot all the more difficult. So Jenny's got great distance and she got a good skip after, so she should have a clean upshot to the pin.
Laying it wide out to the hyzer route. Not necessarily what I was expecting by my camera angle from what I just saw, but it makes sense if that's just the comfortable way that kind of takes the trees out of play if you're just looking to get anywhere past them.
Definitely. I myself, I will take both routes, kind of up and over the trees, or do what Darian did and go out and around. Hyzer is my more comfortable throw, so I know I'm not going to get all the way to the pin. I just want to land out and around safely so that I give myself a clean upshot.
And at this point, just trying to walk away with a par, close out the front 9. 428 is certainly a bonus birdie for most of the FPO division on any given weekend. So you want to just make sure you can keep the heart rate low, so to speak, and walk away with a stress-free par.
Stress-free par. Sounds like you've hung out with our friend Zoe Endyke a time or two, Terry. That's her catchphrase. And it's great to see Darian go to the forehand for that approach. It really shows that she has confidence and control with that shot. So we see Jenny choosing the same thing.
The only thing Jenny had to do is tuck her ponytail into the back of her shirt, because I think it was, waving in just a weird way when she wanted to try and throw. So occasionally I saw her go with that pro move.
Hazards of the job when you've got long hair. I get it.
And
Great
cans it.
putt. Awesome job, Angelina. That was great. That's got to feel good, kind of running one of those in as you're heading towards the back nine. Good confidence booster.
This is Darian for her par.
Good on her for taking her time. It looks like maybe something distracted her, or she was just kind of calming herself after the last hole. And that was a great, another pro tip on the same hole, right? Like, take your time and don't putt until you feel ready. You've got that full 30 seconds to take advantage of.
Yeah, I feel like there was a number of times, like I said, she was just off by an inch or two, and that one she really got dialed in and focused and ultimately converted. So, well, we're going to start to close it out. We've got Jenny is going to walk away with the bogey. Sandra is in for the par, and looking forward to heading over. We're about halfway through the tournament, and it's 3 rounds. We got 27 holes in. And now we're going to head into the back nine. Looking forward to seeing you there, Erikah. Join you there.
I'll see you there.
All right.